All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I have Patty Greer and Chris Burris. Chris Burris is the chief scientist of C60 EVO, and Patty Greer is the CEO. And I don't know if you saw our last podcast, but we actually absolutely knocked it out of the park. And there's a craze going on in the internet right now for this stuff. I call it the youth molecule. This stuff is insane. And for me, folks, this has taken away my back pain and made me feel so much better, and I'm getting so much better sleep. My activity at the gym, my energy is just skyrocketed. So Patty and Chris, thank you so much for joining me. Now, I just looked at you guys, and I'm not going to say how old you are unless you don't want me to, but
that's fine.
But yeah, Chris, you're how old?
56.
56. Okay. Patty?
104.
Okay.
That way 72 doesn't sound so bad.
It's just you guys look wonderful for your age. And I think everything starts with inflammation. Everything starts about controlling inflammation. And I think my theory is more inflammation, the faster you age, right?
Yeah, but also the better you sleep, the less you age. So I'm really glad that you're noticing the sleep benefit, because that's one of the top testimonials is more energy, mental focus, and then better sleep. And I would figure you as a researcher with all the news, oh my God, it's just bombarding us. It really helps to take the C60 EVO.
Well, for me, first of all, you have nothing if you don't have your health. That's it. You don't have anything. I know billionaires personally, believe it or not, that are sick with cancer and they're dying. And what does it matter? What does any of that matter if you don't have your health? Health is first. I'd rather be homeless on the street and have my health than millions or billions of dollars. So I hope everyone else feels that way and they put that first. So most of the products that I push on Nino's Corner.tv, I'm trying to stay ahead of the ball. Like the red light therapy, C60, what I'm doing with you guys, and so many other products. I'm just trying to stay out of the ball because I always tell everybody, I treated my body like an amusement park for so long.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and now I'm trying to treat it like a temple. I'm trying to take care of it now, trying to catch up on lost time and the abuses that I did to my body. So being a professional boxer, pro athlete, the doctor said it's like I've been in 13, and he used this number, 13 car accidents. When he saw my neck down to my spine, all the way down to my L4, L5, he's like, man, it looks like you've been in 13 car accidents. One of the worst backs I've ever seen.
Wow.
And that's just my back. Now, we're not talking about my hands. I've had multiple hand surgeries. Obviously, what's happened here with a knife, repetitive punches to the face, to the back, my whole body hurts. My knees hurt. I've had knee surgery. So this stuff, when I say this stuff works, folks. And not to mention, I believe it turns back the clock in aging because you don't have that inflammation. But I'll let the scientists take it away. Chris, if you want to go from here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love, there's this very famous phrase, which is, a man with his health has 1,000 dreams. A man without his health has but one, which is to be healthy, right?
Just to live.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'll give you some background. I actually have some interesting stuff that's kind of inflammation related. We have to be careful when it comes to inflammation because the FDA equates conversations of inflammation with the diseases of inflammation, which are also the diseases of aging. So like arthritis, Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, cancers. And so if I come in here and say, yeah, we address inflammation, what the FDA hears is me saying we cure cancer, we cure cardiovascular disease.
Of course.
We are not saying that, right? There is so much research and frankly, really expensive research that would need to go in to be able to make those claims. So I'll get in the right
disclaimer here.
Yep. The FDA has not evaluated our product. It is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.
And see, that's the problem. That's the problem with the medical industry right there. There it is. You just nailed it.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll stay on the right side until we have a different side.
Yeah.
So we're talking about this 𝗬𝗧60 molecule. It was discovered in 1985. The three scientists who discovered it won the Nobel Prize in 1996. That's actually Dr. Smalley, Dr. Kroto, and Dr. 𝗀𝗂𝗏, a beautiful Nobel Prize. We actually started manufacturing it in 1991, a full 5 years before they were awarded the Nobel Prize. It's not unreasonable to suggest that because we were delivering commercial quantities of this molecule to research institutions around the world, that scientists could play with the material, understand its benefits, and that's part of the reason they won the Nobel Prize for that discovery. So pretty fantastic. I want to start first. Why does this do what it does, right? Why do we think this has the impact that it does? Because we literally have head-to-toe testimonials. We literally have testimonials that we can't even share because you have to do like the right double-blind placebo-controlled trials for the FDA to allow you to share those particular testimonials. We do have plans in place to be able to do that. The theory is the 𝗏𝗏 theory, which stands for buffering oxidative stress system. And so we know where this fits in originally is we know from peer-reviewed published research that the 𝗬𝗧60 molecule gets into the mitochondria. And we also know from way back in the 90s when it was discovered that it can hold up to 6 negatively charged particles on the exterior of the cage. Now, this is how that maps out. Mitochondria, the powerhouse of every cell in your body. There's between 50 and 5,000 mitochondria in every cell in your body, except for your blood cells, which actually have 0, and your brain and neurons, which have 2 million. It is amazing how much energy our nervous system uses relative to our other systems. Like any power source, there is a negative byproduct. You think about your car going down the road, it's got exhaust, right? In the case of your mitochondria, its exhaust is reactive oxygen species. And if they're left to their own devices, I kind of imagine them like little bumper cars where everything they smack into, they cause rust. They cause this oxidative stress, oxidative damage. And you were talking about inflammation. They actually cause inflammaging, this confluence of inflammation and aging. So internal to your mitochondria, to make sure that normally doesn't happen, you've got the key antioxidants, glutathione and melatonin. And I like to pause here because melatonin is the sleep hormone, and our most consistent testimonial is, again, people take the product in the morning, they report mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. Melatonin is the sleep hormone, some nice parallels here. So you see in this healthy mitochondria, you've got these beautiful blue reactive oxygen species because they're bonded with either glutathione or melatonin. But what happens when you stress a mitochondria? All right, so first, how do you stress a mitochondria? I like to point out, if you live in modern society, you have stressed mitochondria. If you're like me, you work out, you have stressed mitochondria. You got exposure to fog, smoking, drinking, too much EMF radiation, right, off of your phone. Tough email, tough conversations, you have stressed mitochondria. And that's when that mitochondria starts producing more reactive oxygen species than normal. That's when there are no longer any glutathione or melatonin to bond with them. And so they start running around like those little bumper cars, you know, rusting everything they smack into. And this is where the 𝗬𝗧60 molecule shines. It is in the mitochondria, according to peer-reviewed published research. It holds on to up to 6 of those reactive oxygen species. So they can't run around like little bumper cars doing damage.
So it kind of like a magnet. It sucks, it attracts those negative reactive whatever
oxygen species.
There it is. Yeah. Boom. It just, so it's like a, wow, man, the more I have these interviews with you guys, the more I'm learning here. This is so incredible. So it goes in the mitochondria and sucks in the reactive species. And how does it get rid of it? How does it like exhaust it? How does it expel it?
So our belief, and this is why it's a buffering system, right? A buffering oxidative stress system. These reactive oxygen species are the oxidative stress. All you have to do is wait until, because your mitochondria has a process for making more glutathione and making more melatonin. So now you just got to let that mitochondria get to the state where it can make some more and then manage them appropriately, right? What happens, the reason your mitochondria is stressed is, there's lots of reasons it's stressed, but what happens is you actually start producing more reactive oxygen species than the rate that your mitochondria can produce glutathione and melatonin to manage those reactive oxygen species. And then this holds on to them until it can actually produce them. And the summary of this is we believe we're reducing the negative impact of stressed mitochondria. And if you reduce the negative impact of stressed mitochondria, you should have systemic benefits. You should have what we have, which are head to toe testimonials.
So how long does the C60, what's the half-life of the C60? Like, so when you take it, how long does it last in your system, and how do you dispel it? Through sweat, urine? Where does the C60 go? How long does it last?
Great question.
Yeah, great question. And I just want to kind of make sure that we kind of demark things. We really think of C60 is for industrial applications. And there's peer-reviewed published research that proves if you process it improperly, it's harmful. ESS60 is C60 that's been processed for people and pets. And when does it excrete? Actually, and I'm sure this testimonial will come up at some point, in the literature, it shows that it's excreted, right, in 10 days and right at 10 days.
Wow. So if you take it every day, you can have a constant flow of this stuff in. Your body is constantly fighting inflammation, constantly taking in what those free radicals, those antioxidants, right? I mean, that's what it's doing. It's taking in those, and then. But my question is still like, how do you? So like the C60 attracts these ROS, unbonded ROS. Where does that go? How do you discrete that?
So two things.
We believe it just functions like.
Yeah, we believe that it just holds on to those reactive oxygen species until that mitochondria replenishes the. I've got another analogy. This is kind of fun. So I love this concept. I think all biological analogies should start with Mardi Gras because a lot of biology happens at Mardi Gras. So why not? Okay. So it's the end of Mardi Gras, and you have these drunk reactive oxygen species on Bourbon Street causing this rust, damage, whatever, painting cars, smashing windows. And the New Orleans Police Department, the glutathione and the melatonin, come onto Bourbon Street, handcuff themselves to those reactive oxygen species and get them off of Bourbon Street. But what does the New Orleans Police Department do when they're overwhelmed? They take those reactive oxygen species and they put them in a paddy wagon. They attach them to the exterior of the ESS60 molecule. And then when the New Orleans Police Department can replenish the glutathione, replenish the melatonin, then they can handcuff themselves to those reactive oxygen species and get them off of Bourbon Street. Now the ESS60 molecule is left alone, and it just goes out in your stool when it's ready to be.
Okay, so yeah, that's
There's what I was the answer. I was waiting also.
Yeah, and so okay, so also what I was thinking is, so it takes this stuff and it holds on to it. I was going to ask you that. How long does it hold on to it for? Does it release it into your system later? Does the C60 molecule lose its whatever you want to call the attraction, the magnetism, yeah. Does it lose that over time and then releases the radicals into your body?
Well, I don't think that it does. I think your body just kind of naturally processes components that are in it. Like we know that to be true, and that it doesn't get processed until those reactive oxygen species are again managed by that glutathione and melatonin.
Got you. So if you take, let's say, like I like to do this stuff. I like to go get an IV every now and then of glutathione. I also take NAD, stuff like that. I'm really into peptides. This all works hand in hand, most likely. I mean, I'm just. Right. I mean, I would imagine like if you're taking the C60 and then you're getting, either an injection or an IV of glutathione, man, you're really staying ahead of the game.
Well, there is one particular challenge with glutathione, right? Like your system uses it, but does not store it. So if you were to kind of finagle an IV, a glutathione IV, while you're experiencing the oxidative stress, that would be ideal, right? So if you're going to go have a tough workout, hook up that IV, you got the glutathione going through there, it's managing all those reactive oxygen species, you're good to go. But that's not how, like if you take it and then an hour later do your workout, actually an hour is probably okay. At about 2 hours, that glutathione is just, it's like your body says, I don't need that glutathione, and it gets rid of it. So it's not something that can be stored. Unlike this ESS60 molecule, it can be stored in the mitochondria. We believe it's in your body for about 10 days, and then it can hold those reactive oxygen species.
So you really don't need to take this but every 10 days.
Well, that's a theory. And if we didn't have so many testimonials that, as an example, in my case, when I first started taking this on a regular basis, I would get to like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And if I felt like I needed an extra cup of coffee or a nap, I could look back and remember or realize that I hadn't taken it that morning. Right. So Now it's part of my coffee routine. I don't have that problem, but yeah, we do get testimonials that that if you don't take it, they can feel the impact.
Got it. Okay. So no, I just wanted to clarify that because this does work at a cellular level, and I was just trying to understand the minutia behind it and how this all, the system, I guess, of how this works. It's fascinating to me. Absolutely fascinating to me.
It gives you added energy and mental focus that's really noticeable every day. So when you don't take it, you'll probably notice the difference. But
Oh,
it's not like people are hooked on it. It's just, are you hooked on feeling and looking better? Because people notice the difference when we take it. I ran out the other day and I didn't go to my closet and get another bottle for my morning shot. And by mid-morning, I was like missing words talking to a friend, and I was like, man, I'm not that tired. And then I realized I forgot the Evo. I'm kind of spoiled by being able to think easily, and it's because of this product. So when people say, what is all this science talk on a simpleton version for your audience, we're detoxing. The C60 EVO goes into the system and it detoxes head to toe. And the mitochondria is a big word, but a lot of people don't realize it's the powerhouse of every cell. And the body, with all of our cells, has 50 to 5,000 all throughout the body, except blood cells don't have any. But the brain has 2 million mitochondria per cell. That's why the brain is doing all the work, compared to the rest of the body. It's packed with mitochondria, which is the powerhouse. So when we boost up our Evo, we're going to really be thinking more clearly. It just makes things go a lot better. And then the rest of your body functions more easily.
I've noticed that. Yeah, I would not. I have to fire off. So with what I'm dealing with my family issues, my elderly parents, it's been like just brutal. Dealing with the stress with that, and then I'm having to knock out these podcasts every day and go to the gym. I have a packed schedule, like packed. I don't think I'd be able to get through it if I didn't have this stuff, man. Like with everything, and I'll give credit where credit's due. Not just this stuff, but I'm using a lot of other stuff too. I thank God that I'm talking to people like such as yourselves and others that are helping me through my journey and helping me stay, healthy and, on point, because I've just realized more than ever at this age, especially, this is when I'm starting to see people fall off, man, like in the 40s, 50s, going into their 60s. That's what I'm seeing people drop off, pass away, or they're losing their faculties or getting diseases. This is it right here. I'm in that window.
It used to be a lot older. Now it's 18. My God, they're saying that the funeral people are talking, and they're saying life insurance companies are saying they're up 40% in the last few years.
Yeah, well, we all know what that's from.
Yeah, we do. So that's another big reason why you want to be taking Evo. And I will say that we're on Team Bobby. We have been sending Bobby Kennedy Jr. Bottles of Evo, and I wish he'd present it to the public, but he's not allowed to. And
He's not allowed to.
they're not allowed to promote products in particular.
Wow. Well, I am.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're not a government official.
Yeah, true.
But what an honor. What an honor.
So is there more slides here, Chris, or is this okay? All right, cool. All right.
Let me, and I want to keep this really kind of brief because there's something else that I think is worth getting to. Basically, this study published in 2012, it was supposed to be a toxicity study. Instead of being toxic, the test subjects lived 90% longer than the control group. So that's one key aspect. There's the life extension piece, 90% longer.
Yeah, okay, so hold on. This is crazy because they actually did a study with rats, right?
Yep.
And the rats that took the C60 lived 90% longer.
Yeah, that's this graph. Yeah. So there were 3 groups of rats, right? One was water, the control group. One was olive oil, a semi-control group. And one was the 𝗬𝗃60 molecule with olive oil. A typical Wistar rat dies at about 32 months. And I'm actually going to go ahead here. And it has a known amount of tumor mass in its body. The longer it lives, the more tumor mass it has in its body. Even though the C60 EVO rats lived out to 62 months, none of them had any tumors. Yeah.
Incredible.
So if you think about this graph, it should have been way up here. Instead, it was 0. Now, I've told this story and people are like, oh, cure for cancer. And my response is no. And then I follow that with another no. There's a big difference between dealing with a cancer that has metastasized and being potentially a cancer preventative. We know things as simple as good nutrition, good exercise, good sleep are cancer preventatives. This piece of the study throws the 𝗬𝗔60 molecule into that arena. I will add one amazing study. It's a Petri dish study. You take cancer cells and healthy cells in this Petri dish. You introduce an anti-cancer agent, and in the presence of, which is a poison, right? You're trying to poison the cancer cells before the healthy cells. In the presence of the 𝗬𝗔60 molecule, there was increased efficacy of the anti-cancer agent against the cancer cells and protective effect for the healthy cells. Basically, in the presence of 𝗬𝗔60, more cancer cells died and less healthy cells died, right? And the reason we think that is true, we know that cancer cells, their mitochondria function differently, right? So we don't have the exact mechanism, but the fact that this 𝗬𝗔60 molecule, according to the Boss theory, is working in the mitochondria, we think that might have something to do with what's going on there.
Got it. Wow. But still, I mean, so these rats were on this right here, this olive oil?
Yes. It's the exact olive oil from Tunisia with the
Wow.
𝗬𝗔60 molecule.
So this is it right here, folks.
The test came from our lab. So when other companies, if you ever hear anybody saying their product delivers 90% life extension, it's only us. It came from our lab. And I think that's one of the big misnomers in the industry.
That came from your lab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
In fact, our lab provided the material. Our lab is mentioned in that original publication.
Chris, did you conduct the studies, or you just knew the people?
I did not. We provided the material.
Wow.
We are actually publishing with that lead researcher. So we're a very, very weird kind of supplement company. Most supplement companies don't do research, and even fewer continue to publish that research. We published with Dr. 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗹. He's the lead researcher in that particular study. It's called the 𝗵𝗲𝗍 study because it was his grad student was the first name on the study. But Dr. 𝗬𝗵𝗶𝗹 is the lead person. And we published with him in 2024, in 2025, and we'll be publishing with him in 2026.
That's absolutely incredible, man. That alone right there, like that's kind of what sold me, to be honest with you, Chris. Was this study with the rats?
It's fantastic. It's amazing.
Have we gone to primates yet?
Well,
is it just
me,
rats?
Me,
you're actually me.
Us.
90% life extension is by far the longest longevity study on lab animals in history.
That's insane.
So,
on mammals specifically, yeah.
By tens. I mean, what's the next one? 30% if you starve yourself to death diet.
Yeah,
and that's no fun.
Yeah, the next best way to live longer in terms of well-researched is calorie restriction. If you reduce your calorie consumption by 30%, you can extend your life by 30%. And as Patty mentioned, I like to call that the starve yourself 1/3 to death diet.
Yeah, nobody's doing that. Yeah. No, there's a lot easier ways to get around stuff like that, and this is it right here.
A bottle and a spoon in the morning. It's so easy.
That reminds me, I'm actually going to do a cheers since it's been a long day.
Well, I'll do it with you.
Earlier,
I'm going to do one more. I'll do one
late in the day, but it's Friday night. I'm going out. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Cheers. Thank you. You know, it tastes pretty good.
If you swish it through your teeth and gums a few times and then swallow, it's like really changed my receding gums to barely receding.
Really?
Just want to point that out. I can't say it's going to work for anybody else, of course, but it's a coincidence.
That's pretty interesting.
A lot of people are seeing it. Yeah.
All right.
So this next slide, I apologize. They're a little bit technical, but I will explain them. And this is really value. So I've been playing around kind of in the same space, peptides, biohacking, longevity, and there are tests called biological age tests. And I want to talk about kind of 3 of them that I've taken and the results for me. This one is ESR, stands for erythrocyte sedimentation rate. Don't worry, there is no quiz at the end of this. Basically, you take a drop of blood, you put it in a capillary tube, you hold it vertically, and the rate at which the plasma separates from the blood cells is an indication of your inflammatory status. This particular study had a biological age component and had me at 20 plus years younger biologically than my chronological age.
No.
Now hold on to your hat. This one, glycan age. Oh, by the way, you can get that test, Core Health. Like, this is just online test. Glycan age is also a test. It's looking at glycans, which are sugar molecules, and how they attach to cells in your blood. There's one kind of trajectory as you age. Obviously, that's not what you want. It is really an inflammatory status. In this particular test, I took it when I was 34. It had me, I took it and it had me 34 years younger than my chronological age. So at the time, 21, I like to joke.
How long have you been on this, on the C60?
I've been taking it since the latter part of 2017 regularly.
Wow. And these tests, when you took these tests, when did you take these tests?
Let's see. So this one was probably 2 years ago, maybe 2.5. That sounds about right.
Wow, that's pretty impressive, man.
And I like to joke, if you're biologically younger than 21, can you still drink? Is that, I don't know if that's, I need to see your biological ID. And then this last test is interesting. I don't like the number, but I like the direction because it's pretty fantastic. It's called DNA age. I took that test when I was 51. It had me at a biological age of 59, which I wasn't happy about, right? Like, I'm doing a lot of the things. I'm also taking C60 EVO. But I took that test 3 years later when I was 54, and it had me at 58. So chronologically, 3 years had passed. Biologically, I'd gone 1 year in reverse. I'm very happy with that direction.
And this is a different type of...
It's looking at what's called epigenetic methylation.
Okay, so it's the same as the other test, just a different method.
Yeah, well, it's looking at different kind of markers, right? So we have this understanding that we have our genes, right? Our genetics, and really they're controlling our epigenetics, and our epigenetics are heavily influenced by what we do, what we drink, how we exercise, all of those things. So it's looking at that epigenetic methylation level. And yeah, reversing biological age. I would like to continue that.
Absolutely. I think all of us, everyone watching this would. And then I've been told, like, if we could just stick around another, what did they say, 20 years, that you might be able to live another 50 to 100 years after that.
Yeah, I think I'm a firm believer in that, because of the rate at which medical information is doubling. It's astounding, right? So this statistic, in 1950, medical information doubled every 50 years, every 50 years. When I started talking about this number, so it was the beginning of 2025, medical information doubles every 3 months. So what that means,
it's only going to speed up.
Yep. What that means is at the end of 2026, we're going to have 16 times more information, medical information, than we had at the beginning of 2026.
Damn. And then it's just going to keep compounding.
And not just that, I think AI is going to help us run the best experiments, right? A scientist wakes up and he's like, I got 100 things I could test. I think these are the 5 smart ones. And AI can process the information so well. You're like, don't do those, dummy. Do these.
So humanity is just going to take off warp speed now.
Yeah.
I mean, the science especially.
I think so. So
yeah, it'll help if more people get on this product and clean up their brains so we can be nice again.
Right. All right. So month 1, energy and focus. What is this that I'm looking at?
Yeah, so this is, a lot of people say, hey, what should I expect? What's the experience on the product? We tend to think of it as a 3-month process that has a parallel with our most consistent testimonial of taking it in the morning, mental focus and energy during the day, and then better sleep that night. So month 1, people notice focus and energy. We've got one, the testimonial that kind of rings true for me here is a lady. We got some product to her. She took it in the morning. She recorded her video that night, and she pointed out that she didn't finish her cup of coffee. So if you're a coffee drinker, like, not finishing it is a big deal. And I will share, I used to be a 2 to 3 cup a day of coffee per day person. Now I'm more like one. In fact, I still have like 3/4 of a cup left over from this morning. I just didn't finish it. And there is one other piece. If you replace saturated fats with a high quality fat like olive oil, there are weight loss benefits. So that is an absolute possibility and well researched. Month 2 kind of looks like deep sleep. And the reason I think it's month 2 is they actually experience it sooner, but everybody gets a little bit more or less sleep every day, right? And so to go back and go, oh, I started taking 𝗬𝗏 EVO on this date. I'm noticing some improvements in my sleep. It kind of takes a while to map that out. The testimonial I lean on here, I have a business coach. He shares that for 50 years, he needed an alarm clock to wake up. When he starts taking this product, he wakes up before the alarm clock.
Wow.
And this is to go back to that 10-day. Once he's about 10 days without the product, he starts to need the alarm clock again. And again, that's
what so there it is.
Yeah.
What I was talking about. Yeah.
And then on month 3, again, these are the kind of testimonials, the systemic. This is where we're reducing the negative impact of stress mitochondria. We can't share a lot of the stuff that we actually get in until we do the research. By the way, this year, we're hoping to do a migraine study, an inflammatory marker study, a more concrete sleep study. We've already done an ad hoc study where 100% of the participants reported improvements when they were in sleep when they were on the product. And then a wrinkle and old age spot study. So we're continuing to do that research so that we can actually talk about certain things. In this case, I just share my father-in-law was walking with a cane right at about the 3-month mark. He stopped using the cane. Because of that, he was walking more. So not because of our product, but because he's walking more, he's losing weight, and it just had this kind of systemic benefit. That's what we notice in month 3.
I mean, I'm impressed, guys. I've always been impressed with this product, and I thank you for this, especially. Here it is, folks. She sent me the mother load.
We did.
Yeah, this is so cool. This is
your audience responded so well to our first show that we were like, give him the bonus prize.
So I want to thank you guys for joining me. Folks, get on it. The link will be down there at the bottom. Get started. You have nothing to lose but your health. You like that?
Can we share one thing? Because we decided the response was so good from the first round. We were like, and Patty, usually twists my arm on this, to offer a 40% discount for new customers, right?
40% discount, man. Wow.
Yeah. So it is on 6 bottles. And the reason we thought about 6 bottles is because of that 3-month kind of time frame. Where, hey, you're going to have the 3-month experience. Maybe you want to share that with somebody else, or you actually want to, just keep it for yourself. That's probably what I would do. I don't know if Patty, you want to kind of go through what we're looking at here.
Sure. Chris actually had to send me an email this morning letting me know that you're the only one that's still going to get the Christmas bonus for your new customers because you're new with us and your audience is new. But nobody else is offering 40% off, which is our wholesale price.
Wow.
The 3 on the right is discounted, which will get you a really nice setup of the 3 months we just spoke about. And in the middle, you can get twice the discount, 40% off if you buy 6 at a time, which is 3 for you and 3 for your cabinet. Just keep them out of sun and direct heat, oven, stove, and you're going to be good for, years. So another idea, of course, is to give a few to people and friends and family that you care about. We also offer subscriptions. You can sign up and save more that way. And then there's a secret code that David has, which is on the link here, and that'll get you yet another discount.
What's the code?
So we've got, the code is, was it EV David? EVO David.
EVO David. There it is. All right.
Yep. And you'll get another $15 off. So, great deals. And the reason we're doing that product is it's our #1 seller, the olive oil. When people are new, they say, what should I start with? We recommend the olive oil and the face serum, which is all natural.
Which I have right here.
And have you smelled it yet?
Yes, it's very good. I put it on my face every morning.
Oh, yay. I tell you, guys, girls, doesn't matter. And everybody in between loves this product. So when people want to know, where do I start? The inside and out, the starter set, that's what we're selling like crazy. And you're going to see and feel different. People will say you look different. It's really nice. And again, we've got the special deal. If you get six of them, you're going to get 40% off. And if you get three, you get another nice discount. But keep in mind, whatever you get, if you sign up for a monthly subscription, you'll save more. You'll get it every month. And if you don't want to continue, just call our customer service, drop us an email. We don't even ask questions. They're the nicest people.
Let me
So,
fix that just a little bit. If you order one or two, so one comes every month, two comes every other month, six comes every 6 months on subscription.
oh,
Got you. Okay.
Yeah,
that's really nice.
Most
I
people
didn't
probably don't need six every month.
Yeah. Of course.
I didn't know we were doing that. That's awesome. See, he does all these little tricky things, but that's a good thing. And the guys at the lab, before they started anti-aging their own faces like you are, David, before they realized that Patty was right, that we deserve to make a face serum, a bunch of guys at the lab are like, yeah,
Yay, amazing.
face serum. And of course, then they called me a year later and they said, well, we actually have another face serum that has peptides. So
Oh,
this is
nice.
a two-part face serum that's called the Youth Renew Duo. And the guys at the lab found another UTH29 peptide that's delivered 30 years of impressive results with skin, hair, nails, everything. So they were experimenting and realized that we could make this beautiful product with peptides. But I got picky about no emulsifiers or chemicals. So we had to make two different bottles because one's oil, one's lotion, and you freshly activate in the palm of your hand one pump of the tall formula and then two drops. It all says it on the bottle. It's very simple, but if you activate fresh in the palm of your hand, you're going to have a wonderful facial experience. Smells wonderful also. The thing about the ESS60 is number one, it's highly effective. It won the Nobel Prize, but we also add the element of aromatherapy. So all of our products also smell marvelous. There's I mean the face serums, especially
It
the lip
does. You're right. It
balms.
does.
Have you tried the mint lip balm?
No, I haven't tried that yet. I have not
Oh,
tried that yet.
it lasts for like the longest time. You can taste it, you can smell it from your lips to your nose. Like all the products are just strong enough, but not too much. But the purpose of aromatherapy is to add one more element to give you pleasure, to light you up. So the rose on the face is just a really nice compliment to your nose, to the essence, and to the skin. So these are our top sellers, and we're offering again the six or the three or the single. And if you sign up for a monthly, you're going to benefit even more. So here's our olive oil again. For existing customers, it's less discount than you get for first time, but still great deals and a great product that's going to change your life if you just take it daily. And like you were asking, very great question. What if I quit for, 10 days? All I can say is you're going to be so spoiled by feeling better that you're going to go, yeah, I think I'd rather get back on it.
No, that's how I feel. I
Yeah.
take it every day. So
It's so easy.
yeah, it's very easy. Um, and I like easy, so I'm good with that. So Patty,
Easy.
thank you. Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Folks, hit the link down below. I mean, what else? Like I said, what do you got to lose? Your health. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Chris. God bless you guys.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you.